Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. I'm Emma from Small Business Britain, and today we are talking about email marketing with Dave from Constant Contact and Charlotte Wise, the founder of Charlotte Pink. Hi, both.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Before we get started, just a few housekeeping things from me. We are recording today. You probably heard that funny voice at the beginning. So don't you worry. If you miss out on anything, we'll be sharing a replay to your inbox so you can catch up and rewatch in your own time, make all sorts of notes, whatever you need to do. Do get involved in the chat at the bottom and say hello. If you do have questions, if you're able to pop them in the Q&A, which is just to the left of the chat bot, then we can keep an eye on those and make sure that we've got your questions to ask at the end to the speakers. Oh, hi, Tracy. Hi, Lucy. Hi, everyone. I can't believe it's the afternoon already. Crazy. I wanted to say a really big thank you to Constant Contact for partnering with us on this webinar. Constant Contact are the champions in effective email marketing, so I really couldn't think of a better organization to have for this session. Dave from Constant Contact also is here today, as I mentioned, so do make the most of his knowledge, and I'm sure that you'll have a lot of questions for him. That is all from me for now, so I'll hand over to our speakers and see you at the end, and hope you all enjoy.
Thanks so much, Emma. Thank you so much to everyone here joining us today. As mentioned, my name is Dave Charest. I am the Director of Small Business Success at Constant Contact. I'm also the host of the Be a Marketer podcast. If you're on LinkedIn, I'd love to connect with you there. Please do reach out. For those of you who may not be familiar with Constant Contact, we've been helping small businesses and not-for-profits reach their marketing goals for almost 30 years now with our easy-to-use digital marketing platform. You can find out more about Constant Contact in our tools, of course, by scanning that QR code on the screen. I've been with Constant Contact for over 13 years now, and people often ask, what keeps you at the company for so long? Well, for me, it boils down to three things. I'm passionate about helping small businesses and nonprofits succeed. The people that I work with day to day share that same passion, and we're all really focused on delivering tools and insights to help you make progress with your business or nonprofit from wherever you're starting. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here with you today. Thank you for choosing to spend some time with us. And the reality is that email marketing is just as important today as when we started over 30 years ago. At Constant Contact, we believe it is the core of any digital marketing strategy. I'm looking forward to chatting with you more about email marketing at the end of the presentation today. But for now, I'm going to pass it over to Charlotte Wise, founder of
Oh,
Just lost Dave there. I think he was just handing over to Charlotte.
he was just introducing me, and then he froze. Oh dear, never. It's okay. I shall share my screen, and we can get started.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
Okay, here we go. Hopefully Dave will join us again soon. Hello, everybody. So my name is Charlotte Wise, and I am the founder of Charlotte Pink Digital Marketing. So, excuse me, you'll have to excuse my voice. That is the beauty of being a mum to two young children. They go back to school and they bring home bugs. So I do apologise that I sound a little bit bunged up. But yes, I am Charlotte, and I am the founder of Charlotte Pink Digital Marketing. I help health and wellness businesses get their important messages seen online. I also help those in the parent and child sector. Some of my clients include mental health practitioners. You may have heard of Now Baby, the author of Your Baby Week by Week, Dr. Caroline Fertelman. I work with midwives, sonographers, all who are in private practice, helping them just to get their very important messages seen online in our new digital world. I have over 15 years of marketing experience, and since 2018, I have had my own business. But prior to that, just after the birth of my son, I actually did launch a product-based business. So for anybody who is watching today and you have a product-based business, I salute you for coming here, because I know how busy you are or are going to be in the lead up to Black Friday and to Christmas. So thank you so much for being here. I'm also based here in my office at the end of my garden in Dartford in Kent, and I'm a self-confessed geek, so I love anything digital, and I strongly believe that all small businesses should have the right information in order to market themselves online in our new digital world. So thank you so much, everybody, for giving up your time and for being here today. So just to go over quickly, I think because I now have access to the chat, hands up, just if you can just give me a simple yes or no. Do you use email marketing in your business? Can you just give me a yes or no? Oh, wow. Look at that. Go chat, go. Yes, 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 no, not yet. No, yes, yes, I do once a month. Yes, or try. Yes, a bit. No. Amazing. Brilliant. Okay, so this is really good because we've got a mixture of both. Hopefully you're going to come away from this webinar with a little bit more information. So for those who haven't yet started on email marketing, you're going to come away from this with a little bit of a clearer mind as to what email marketing is, what it's about, and where to start. For those of you who are working with email marketing at the moment, hopefully you have a little bit more information to give you the tools to help you a little bit further if you are struggling in any way. Okay, so just to give you some stats on this, just on emails overall. So there are 4.5 billion email users worldwide in 2024 currently. Okay, and this is predicted to increase to 4.7 billion by 2027. I mean, that's mad, isn't it? It's just crazy. It just shows that emails are just not going away anytime soon. 60% of consumers actually prefer to be contacted by brands. And 88% of users check their email multiple times a day. Now, I mean, how many times are you working, sit at your computer and you get a notification that pops up to say that you've got an email? How many times do you get a notification on your phone that says that you've got an email? It's so easy to receive an email, to open one. It's incredibly easy to do. We are consumed by information all the time, and email is just one of those fantastic ways in which we can get our own information out there of our own business. So what else? So what is good about digital marketing? Email marketing. Of course, email marketing is part of digital marketing. So it's an additional marketing tool. Now, I help a lot of my clients with their websites, their SEO, which is search engine optimization. So that's where, for those of you who haven't heard of that, that is where you get your website to the top of search engines like Google. So I help my clients with search engine optimization, website design, and social media. And incorporated into this is email marketing, because email marketing is an additional tool to all of those things. Unlike something like your website or social media, your content that is put out there is actually sent to a warm audience. So with email marketing, people actually sign up to hear from you. They know who you are, they sort of know what you do, and they have said, yes, I would love to get some information from you. Whereas if you put content out there on your website or your social media, then it's likely to, yes, reach people that have heard of you, but it's also likely to reach people that have never heard of you. So it's just another way in which we can market our business, but slightly easier because people actually know a little bit more about us. You can also direct customers to time-specific services products. So, for instance, I've already mentioned Black Friday, Christmas. Certainly, if you've got a product-based business, if there is that product that you really can't sell, you're really struggling, you can potentially do one campaign just on this one particular product to send it through to your email database and say, look, you know, we've got a massive discount on this particular product, and send your warm audience of your email database over to that product on your website, which then brings me back to SEO here, because email marketing is a fantastic source of traffic for your website. You put a link there to any part of your website into your email, and you can quite easily send your users from your email marketing database from the email over to your website. And because there's extra traffic there, not only are you going to increase sales for your business as a result, because you've made it super easy for them to buy from them, but you're also, it's a double whammy, because what you're also doing is that you're increasing the SEO on that. So Google's looking at your website going, wow, this website's got a lot of traffic. Maybe I can rank it a little bit further up in the search results pages. So like I've said, once you have a better understanding of this, you'll be able to come away from this today with some better marketing decisions for your business. And then I've got one final pro to email marketing, probably the most important reason why email marketing is so important. You own it. For those at the back that didn't quite get that, you own it. And again, you own it. You own your email database. The amount of times that I have seen Instagram glitch, Facebook go down, X obviously became X and it used to be Twitter. The amount of times I've seen that happen with changes to different platforms that you have absolutely no control of as small business owners. Yes, you have a control of the amount of the type of content that you're putting out there and how you're putting it out there. But the minute that the powers that be at Meta or wherever decide to change things, and that potentially can have a huge impact on your business. And certainly if something like Facebook or Instagram go down and you're marketing heavily on those platforms, then you need to be able to communicate with your customer base to tell them, look, okay, Instagram's down at the moment, or my website's down at the moment, but here's how you can reach us. Here's how you can still buy our products. And that is how email marketing, I like to think of it as, it is the iCloud storage backup. It is the foundation of your digital marketing strategy. Please remember it. It is so important. Oh, yes, and then we go on to these about how we can build our email list. So there are two ways in which we can build our email list. The first one is quite straightforward. It's called a sign up link. So essentially what you will have is you'll have a link where users can click on that link and they can input their details. Yes, I would like to hear from you. I would like to join your email list. I would like to hear from you. Job done. There you go. You can put these links on your website. You can put these links on your social media pages. You can put these links on your email signatures, wherever. This is the link to sign up to our website. This is the link to sign up to our newsletter. Okay. That's one thing. But actually, what we need to be doing is we need to be using something called lead magnets, because this is how we're really going to be building an email list. Now, a lead magnet is a product or service. It's a marketer's term. It's a product or service that's offered for free in exchange for contact details. Now, I'm just going to ask again in the chat. Do you currently use a lead magnet, and what is it? What do you currently use for your lead magnet? Can you think of any examples for me as to what a lead magnet might be? Excellent. So yes, okay. So someone asked again just a second ago, what is it? What is a lead magnet? So a lead magnet is a product or service that's offered for free in exchange for contact details. So it's in exchange for the email address that is going to be added to your email database for you to start your email marketing campaign. But yes, absolutely, you've got it right. So examples of lead magnets are these. So you might have a voucher. So some people will hear of put money off voucher. It might be a free product. It might be an ebook. It might be a how-to list, a best of list. It might be a spreadsheet, like I've seen, like budgeting spreadsheets or travel spreadsheets. It might be a planner. It might be a quiz. There are some fantastic lead magnets out there. Sometimes it's actually really painful for you to actually give that out for free, because you think, oh my goodness, this is vital information for me that I wish I could charge for, or this is a product that, you know, I really need to be getting a lot of profit on. But actually, if you just think of this one item, this one thing, it can provide so much value for that person that in return, they're going to sign up to your database. They're going to receive emails from you. on a regular basis, and then they are going to continue to buy from you. They're not just going to be buy from you once and done kind of thing. It's literally, you're going to have now a warm customer and a retaining customer as well. So I wanted to give you some examples of where you would be able to see these lead magnets. So you will often find lead magnets on sponsored ad campaigns on social media. You also can find them on websites. Sometimes you might get them on a pop-up from a website as well. And I wanted to give you some examples. So the one on the left here, this one is actually from Next, the fashion retailer Next. And it's really very simple. Just be in the know. If you want to find out exclusive offers, news, updates, when our sale is going to be, then put your email address in, subscribe, job done. That's pretty simple. The one over to the right is the voucher, and it just gives you a bit of an option as to how you think is what you want additional help with. The one in the middle, this one is actually one of my clients. So she is Megan Rose, and she is a health and wellness coach. And what she does is she encourages people to take a quiz. The quiz then asks people a number of questions about themselves. It then will reveal a certain archetype. The results you get via email, so you need to put your email address in, and then she communicates with you further, so because then she understands a little bit more about you, and then she can communicate with you as to how she can help you more. So it's actually quite clever. So there's lots of different ways in which you can use lead magnets and present them like this. And like I said, you'd usually find these on social media and on your websites as well. I wanted to include a little bit about email content as well. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry, I'm hoping that my voice is holding out for you guys. It's not too annoying because it's so bunged up. Okay, so important email content, things not to do, because once you've got your email database sorted, so you're building your email list with your lead magnets, you've got it all set up with your sign up form, so people are quite happily signing up, waiting to hear from you. This is what you don't want to do. You don't want to overcomplicate your emails. So when it comes to sending your emails, the amount of emails, like I said, we get bombarded with emails on a daily basis. We want our email to be simple and effective. We don't want it to be a long story, a long essay. Now, a couple of years ago, I actually went to a webinar about email marketing, and one of the tips at the time was to essentially write this really long and drawn out story. And I'm going to say something a little bit controversial here. As a marketer, I don't believe we're in that space anymore. I think that certainly if you are still sending emails whereby they're really long, it's in a story format, almost essay written, and you're doing well from it, don't change it because I've said that, okay? If it's working for you and your audience, then don't change that structure. However, I would say that if you are in a situation whereby you are starting email marketing for the first time, you don't want to be writing really long and drawn out emails. You want to be getting to the point. You want to be getting their attention really quickly. I think at the minute where we're being bombarded with content 24/7, we are in a position whereby we are almost getting consumed so much with information that our brains are filtering out the stuff that isn't really landing with us. So having a long story sent to us via email, we're almost just going to skim through that and just think, well, this is taking up too much of my time. I'm not going to bother with it. So we want to keep things nice and simple. We also don't want to include large video, image files or attachments in any of our email marketing. This is for two reasons. The first reason is that the larger the file size of your email, the less likely it is going to land in someone's inbox. So if you've got all of these videos and images, they're going to make the email file size larger. So it means that it's more likely going to land in spam email boxes and in junk mail boxes, because it's all going to be filtered out because it's too large of a file size. So it's not even going to get opened. It's not even going to reach their email box, their inbox, sorry. The other reason is because the smaller the file sizes, actually the more sustainable it is for the environment as well. I know Small Business Britain have done a lot of work on sustainability, and that is super important, certainly in today's age. So do always be mindful of how large a file size is when you're sending your emails as well. And really, you will get a standard email size, but then if you're including large pictures, large videos, it's going to just be mindful that's going to be making it larger as well. Also, please don't include any false or explicit or misleading information. Obviously, that's a given. And I've also seen this as well before. Please don't send the same email more than once. I have seen this happen many a time where if you get frustrated with, say, for instance, you're sending something and it doesn't say that it's sent straight away, some people just continue to press send. And then sometimes that can duplicate the email and it can go out more than once. Also, I've also seen this, if you find that the original email doesn't land, so you don't get the results that you want from that email, you think, oh, okay, I can just send it again, and then maybe I'll get some more traction. Please don't do that. Just please don't send the same email more than once. People want to have different content. And certainly if it's sent more than once, then it can be deemed as spam as well by your email provider, and it will be filtered out. And so you won't be able to get your message, your clear message to your customer either. So what can you do? What should you do with your email marketing? So the first thing is to have a short, catchy title, something that is going to lure them in, something that is going to be, that is going to make that person think, oh, actually, yes, Charlotte's emailing me and it's about XYZ. Oh, that looks interesting. I'm going to click on it. The subtitle is, when you have your email inbox, you will have the title of the email, and then you'll have a short piece of text underneath, which will state a little bit about what that email is for, what's it about. If both of those things are catchy, they're interesting, the more likely that someone is going to click on it and read it. You also want to let your email show your brand's tone of voice as well. So say, for instance, if on your website and your social media, you are quite cheeky, quite jovial, don't then have an email marketing campaign that has that's very serious. Keep your brand's tone of voice. If you're really jovial and you like to post about funny things, you like to have a funny brand tone of voice, then keep that consistent in your email marketing campaign. Similarly, if you're if the issues that you are talking about in social media, on your website, are very serious, very personable, then you want to be reflecting that into your email marketing campaigns as well. Don't be scared also to feel vulnerable, certainly if you're the face of your business. Obviously stay professional, but I would also say, don't be scared to talk about your feelings about certain things. I find certainly with my clients, where it's health and wellness, and where it is certain issues, when people are actually vulnerable with their feelings and they actually send that, then it resonates with your ideal client, and then they then in return want to then read more about what you've got to say, i.e. if it's a link to your blog, or want to talk more to you about your service, whatever it may be. So don't be scared to be authentically you either. And also by doing that, you will become a trustworthy source. And as long as you're not sending emails that are that have false information, or anything like that, then you're going to be deemed as a trustworthy source. People are actually going to like hearing from you. They're going to want to hear from you as well. And like I said, keep your emails simple and easy to read. Don't be scared to highlight certain words, because as that person is going to be scanning through your email, they are going to want certain words to pop out at them. Things like exciting news, things like huge offer, 20% discount, launch of new product, whatever that might be. Highlight certain important words so that they can see those things. And always, 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 always include a call to action with links that work. So a call to action is the next stage. So if you can imagine that you send an email to your ideal customer, your ideal client, you want that person to do something. So either you want them to see a social media post, you want them to view a blog, you want them to go to your website and buy a product, whatever it might be that you want them to do, you need to include the link to it with the call to action. Don't be scared to tell them about it and tell them where you'd want to go. And always, always, always send a test email first, because the amount of times as well where I have seen emails that have got call to actions all over it, but the links don't work, and it just means that that person who's got your email, they're not going to do anything with it. So you are potentially losing sales as a result of that. So always make sure that you send a test email to yourself first. You can go through all the links, click on them all, make sure they all work, make sure they're all directed to everywhere that you want them to go, and then send it. And also include your contact details. Now, it is part of GDPR in this country that we include our contact details on the bottom of every email. You also need to include an option for people to opt out or unsubscribe if they want to as well, and make it easy for them to do it. I just wanted to show you a little example of my own email marketing strategy. So on the left-hand side, you can see this is my lead magnet, my sign-up form. So you will see this on a pop-up that comes up when you're on my website for a few seconds. This will come up, and you're able to enter your email, and then I then give everybody who wants to sign up to my emails a free content calendar. So I do it for the following month. So if you wanted to sign up to my email database to receive emails from me, then I give you a free content calendar for November for you to help you plan your social media strategy or your email marketing strategy. And it has lots of different awareness dates as well, which are little prompts that you can use when you're creating that content. And I also state my purpose. I also state exactly what I'm going to be doing when I send those emails. So I say why I'm sending those emails as well to people. Sign up to receive lots of free tips and tricks how you can grow your business online. That's exactly what I do when I send out my emails. Every time I do a regular social media update in the world of social media. Say, for instance, if Instagram has changed something, then I will alert my email marketing database know. And I thought as well, I just thought I'd go into the archives with this. On the right hand side, you will see an example email that I sent my database back in 2022 when I became part of the Small Business 100. So I just wanted to show on there the title. So the title was actually what word will you use? And underneath the text, you can't actually see it in here, but when it flagged up as a notification on the email, the underneath text was you can only pick one. So for someone to get that and they're thinking, oh, hang on a minute, what's this? It's intriguing. So they'd click on it. And then I talk about the fact that I was part of the Small Business 100. And then I also did a link to Instagram Live I did with Holly Tucker so that people could see that, House of Lords trip. It went on, and it was basically to direct, the purpose of that email was to direct people to my Instagram, which I was trying to grow at the time. So that is a classic example there. You can see as well that the links are in a different colour. Always keep that to make it stand out. There's no big images, there's no big videos or anything like that. But yeah, we're using capital letters. It's not an English essay, so we're not planning on impressing an English teacher here, but certainly it's all spaced out so that it's easy to read. We've got some bold, we've got some italic, we've got links, we've got different colours. So try your best to break it down like that so that it is as simple and as easy to read for your user as possible. So now we've got our email list through our lead magnet. We've got our sign up form. We know how to send an email. We have been sending emails now to our email database, but now we want to keep it. We want to be able to keep our email list going. So like I said before, you want to be stating your purpose. Why should people be staying signed up to you? The majority of people are motivated by money and by information. So if you want to keep these people on your database, you're going to want to be saying that people want to sign up to you to receive either money off vouchers, discounts, brand new products at a discounted rate. They'll be the first to know certain things. I've seen some wonderful product campaigns recently whereby they've been launched via email first. So the email database gets first dibs, if you like, of the new product before it then goes live to everybody else on the website, on social media. It's a fantastic way of having this almost exclusive club whereby you get people to see it first, if you like. It's also like my own email database. I pride myself on the information that I give. So that is where people think, okay, I want to hear from Charlotte because she's going to be giving me useful information that I know is going to help me in my business. So for one of those two ways, you want to be really open. State it on your website, state it on your launch, on your lead magnet, state it on your social media as to why you want people to sign up to your email list and to keep signing up. Don't be scared to communicate with your customers and your clients in that way. Also, decide from the get-go how often you want to email your database. Now, that could be weekly, fortnightly, monthly. I would say don't go any longer than that. Some people obviously do decide to do it quarterly, but I would say for consistency, I would stick with weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. Depending on the campaign as well, I have seen companies that can do it daily, sometimes even twice a day. But that, I would say, is part of a targeted campaign and part of potentially a launch or something. I would say from the get-go, don't bombard people too much, especially if they're new. So I would decide a day that you want to send your email. So it might be every Saturday, for instance. And on that day, without fail, you are going to show up for your email database every Saturday, and you decide that. And the consistency is key, because the minute that you don't, the attention to your business is likely to fall off the wayside from that email database. So if they know they're always going to hear from you on every Saturday, they'll expect the email. They trust that the email is going to come in. They're going to open the email. They're going to read the email, and then they're going to go to whatever call to action that you've asked them to do. And hopefully then they're going to buy from you and take the next steps there. Like I said, become a trusted source as well. And this will avoid unsubscribes and low open rates. Like I said, when people know where the email's from, they have an expectation, they're going to open it. If they don't, or if it's too much, or like I said, if the file size is too big, then people aren't going to open it. And you're likely also to see some unsubscribes in there as well. Now, run targeted campaigns. I'm aware that we may not have enough time to go through targeted campaigns, but that is certainly, if you have a fantastic software provider, someone like Constant Contact, for instance, you would be able to run targeted campaigns to certain groups of your email database. I would say, because we are just beginning here, then we should just start with the basics. But as you get more confident with it, then you can have a look and you can see what's working in your business, what's not working in your business when it comes to your email marketing strategy, and think, right, okay, I've got a certain list here that isn't working for me. Let's email them all something different compared to this list, they're buying from us fine, but these people aren't. So then you can go down that route, and then you can look at more targeted campaigns that way. And also, don't get disheartened when people unsubscribe. I would say that a lot of people expect to get a lot of unsubscribers come January time. People think that, okay, it's a new year, new me, decluttering everything. I'm going to declutter my email inbox, and I'm going to get rid of all of the emails that I subscribe to. Now, I would say just don't get disheartened by that. That principle alone is nothing to do with you. That is to do with a new year and about decluttering, and about a mantra that is completely different to your purpose as to why you are emailing these people. So please don't get disheartened when people do unsubscribe. And if lots of people do, then I would say then that's okay, because all the time that people are subscribed to your email database and they're not opening your emails, that's just going to affect your conversion rate. So I wouldn't worry too much. I would just keep being consistent, keep showing up for your clients. The people that want to open your emails, they will. The people that want to buy from you, they will. Excuse me. Excuse me. And have fun. Have fun with it. 1 second, sorry. I'm so sorry about that. I made it all the way through. And that was the last bit of the presentation. I'm so sorry. But here we go. I just wanted to give you my contact details. Thank you so much. You're so sweet in the chat box. Thank you. Have some hot water. I know I've got a combination of hot and cold. Hot and cold tissues. Honestly, I came prepared. But yes, these are my contact details. So you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on website charlottepink.co.uk. If you go /resources, you'll see everything that I offer. You can also reach me personally as well on my email that I've just seen there. Oh no, it's starting. Well done getting to the end. Thank you so much, Anna. That's so sweet of you. And no doubt, I know that I'm sure we'll have some time for some questions. Emma, if you want to take over, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to go and just have some more tea and cough for 1 second. Thank you so much, everyone.
Oh, thank you so much, Charlotte. And oh, bless you for powering on there. I know it's the worst thing in the world when you've got something tickling away at your throat. So well done for getting all the way through. And thank you for such a wonderful presentation. I can see so many people, lots of love hearts in the chat, lots of people saying thank you, really informative, really helpful. So that's amazing. If you're ready, I'll move on to questions now, if that's okay. So first question is from Anna, and she's asked that she agrees on your own email marketing plans, but she wants to know if you've got any tips on emails not being sent to junk.
Okay, so not being sent to junk. So you don't want to be considered. Guys, you're so sweet. You're so lovely. Thank you so much. I'm just seeing these comments. So thank you. That's really kind. Yes. So again, it goes back to file size. So you don't want to be, you don't want any unnecessary images, videos, making the email too large. You also don't want to be emailing, like I said, the same thing over and over again. So you want to try and switch things up, change things up, because you don't want to be considered as spam. Also, nothing explicit, because again, certain words can be filtered and go through to spam folders. But also, what you need to try and do is you need to try and get them to, if you can get one email that is going to be opened at least once, then that essentially tells your email software, okay, so she's opened it, so it's open. If they're going to continue to ignore them and it's going to stay unread, you're going to have these unopened emails, then you it's more likely going to go, well, she's not interested in it, and it's going to be bounced off to junk. So I hope that helps.
I'm sure it does.
I'll add something there, and congrats to you for making it through the presentation. I've been in the same situation, and it's really rough. So congratulations. Yeah, one of the things that we find that's really interesting to do is make sure that you're setting up some type of welcome email when somebody joins your email list, because that's a moment in time where people are really engaged with your business and that moment of signing up. And typically, you mentioned lead magnets. That's when you're going to deliver on that thing, and so that's the great opportunity to get people opening that email right away because they're really excited to get the thing that you've offered in exchange for that email address. And so that's a great way to kind of start kind of warming up that list, right? To make sure that your emails are delivered and not getting marked as spam.
Absolutely. If I'll just add to that as well, Dave, actually, because that's a good point that you've raised about the welcome email. So here we have, I'm not quite sure what the GDPR information is in the States, but certainly here in UK and Europe, we have to do something called a double opt-in. Yeah. So as soon as someone email says that they want to sign up to your email database, they then get the welcome email, and the welcome email it can have lots of links to your products, lots of links to your services in it, and you can state your purpose and say why you want them to stay signed up. But essentially, it gives them the opportunity to opt out if they want to. So also in that welcome email, you can then send whatever it is the lead magnet is. But that's also a really important part, is that you allow them the option to opt out should it have been a mistake or anything like that.
A follow on from that question is, have you got any tools which are good for sending large lists?
Large lists? What do you mean? Any tools for sending large lists? What do you mean by large lists?
Well, I'm wondering if they mean Constant Contact.
So could you just repeat that question one more time for me?
Yeah, of course. The question is, can you give some good tools for sending large lists?
So if you just mean sending to large lists of people, obviously, Constant Contact is the type of provider that allows you to manage those lists. And I think the big thing to mention here, and Charlotte, you touched on this, was the ability to really start thinking about, people often ask, how can I get better results? And I think the number one thing that you can do is start to break that large list that you have into smaller lists so that you are starting to group people that make sense in a way for your business in terms of interests. It could be, we have a tool called click segmentation, for example. So if somebody is clicking on a particular link, you can add people to a list behind the scenes so that you can follow up with more relevant information. And I think the ultimate kind of way to think about email marketing is getting the right messages to the right people at the right times. And as close as you can get to doing that at an individual level, the better. And these lists allow you to really start to think about that. And as people are moved to a list, you can have automation set up on the back ends of that so that you can send specific information to those specific people. And so I think that's really important to think about too.
Excellent. Fabulous. Next question is it possible to be successful with email marketing without a social media presence? Charlotte,
Dave, do you want me to answer?
Sure, I'll add something too.
On, Dave, you go.
Well, so I think it really.
Oh no, Dave, where are you going? Where are you going, Dave? Started. Someone has said in the comments, who would ever have no social media presence? Yes, I guess that social media presence is the given, isn't it? It is, and this is what I say to my clients, is that I feel like social media is the obvious one. So when you have a business, you immediately think, I need a website and I need social media. And then almost you can forget email marketing, and it can also be, it can sort of be left by the wayside a little bit. But I would say that certainly email marketing is so much more important than people give it credit. If you have, say, like I mentioned earlier, if you have a product whereby you want to launch it for the first time, or you want, like I said, if you've got a product that you can't sell, you'll find it really difficult to sell this one particular product. You could do an email marketing campaign just based on this one product, and it could just be for them. Okay, you can put on your website or your social media first and say, look, only the guys in the email marketing database are going to be getting this offer. You can create so many more sales from that than you would necessarily get from if you just did the same thing on social media and website. I mean, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I like to say to all of my clients, you need to have a foot in everything, really. Delegate what you can't do yourself. Put the time into what you enjoy doing. And like I said, delegate the rest. But certainly I do believe now that in our new digital world, we need to be present on social media. We do need to be present on with a website. We do need to be present with an email marketing strategy as well. If you're going to be successful in getting as many sales as possible, if you're making the most out of all of those channels, they're there for a reason. Take advantage of it.
Welcome back, Dave. Did you have anything?
Hi, sorry, I'm having some real issues with my internet here today, which I'm going to make a call after this because it's happening too many times. I apologize for that. I was just going to add that I think, social can often be used as a confirmation, right? People are going there to check out to see what's going, how you're engaging with people, the type of things that you're doing. Ultimately, they're trying to answer the question, is this the right business for me? Time and time again, we see email work because it's word of mouth. And basically that means keeping your business top of mind. So social can be a component of that. Do you absolutely need it? I'm going to say you don't, because if you're particularly, again, depending on the nature of your business, because if you're keeping in touch with the people that have come to you already, you're keeping your business top of mind with them when they're ready to purchase with you. Again, you have ways to influence them. If somebody is asking them where they should go for a particular product or service, and you're in their inbox, they're going to think of you first, right? So you're trying to create these shortcuts in people's brains. And if you can stay connected to the people that you already have relationships with and deepen those, you can still be successful with the email marketing component of it. But today, everybody kind of expects some type of social engagement somewhere. And so I think it's about, if you are going to do something, choose one channel that makes sense for your business so you can commit to that and learn how to use that really well before trying to do a whole bunch of things, because you end up just spinning your wheels and not getting much in return for that.
Excellent advice. I know I'm not the expert here, but for me, just personally, I can't cope with too many social media channels. So I can't even imagine what these businesses, what it must be like having to have platforms and all sorts of them. So excellent advice, Dave. The next question is in reference to not sending an email twice. Sometimes there's an option that will pop up for resend non-openers. What are your thoughts on that?
So I know Charlotte mentioned not to send an email twice. This is a feature that Constant Contact has as well. And I think this is one of those things that, as with anything, I think you should think about testing into things to see how that performs for you. We've seen it get more opens for people, get more click-throughs to people, because I think the reality is, right, everybody's inbox is overcrowded and people have signed up for your list. And sometimes people want to do the things that you send them, but often life gets in the way and you get pulled out of it, right? And so for us, it's a good idea to see, look how that works, look what's going on. But if somebody doesn't open it, it may be because it's gotten pushed down, right? Or they couldn't get to it at a particular time. And so sending that other send to people that didn't open it can often lead to more people actually seeing your message.
Excellent. Anything you want to add, Charlotte?
Yeah, but I would agree to that. Like, if that all comes down to the retargeting that you can do with it. I think my point is that if, say, for instance, you are sending an email and it doesn't send, or you think it hasn't sent and actually it has, and you're literally sending, you're like this, please don't do that. Just because if someone is getting multiple emails within a short period of time that are exactly the same, you're definitely going to come out as spam, and then you're not going to reach their inbox altogether. But definitely with a retargeting campaign, having a look at the metrics, having a look and see who's opened it and who hasn't, then absolutely, go right ahead and see what works. I love that bit about email marketing, because I think it's good. It's good to run those tests and to have a look, and then you can change what you need to accordingly.
Next question also links in with this one. Can the email address that you use affect whether your email is considered junk or spam?
Go on, Dave. I'll let you answer that.
Yes. So this is a big thing that's happening right now. So there's a whole bunch of rules in place. I think Google and Yahoo are starting this first, but ultimately what they want to see, it's called authentication, and they want to make sure that the people sending the email are actually who they say they are. And so what they do is, so we've got Charlotte's email address up there, right? So charlottepink.co.uk. It's going to confirm that the email sender is coming from that domain. And so you'll want to make sure that you do have a website, that you do have a domain to connect those. Constant Contact, if you don't have your own website, we have ways to actually authenticate that for you on our side. So it proves that it's who it's coming from. But ultimately, this is where things are going to start to go. And I think that you'll see other providers actually following suit. Ultimately, this makes email sending safer. There'll be less spam in terms of like actually getting to the inbox. And so it's an important thing to make sure that you are making those connections, and you can get that stuff set up within your Constant Contact. Allows you to set that up pretty easily.
Amazing. I think that's answered that one really well. Next question. Any thoughts on the optimum number of call to actions in an email?
Oh, well, I mean, you could have as many as you wanted, really, but I mean, it depends. It completely depends on what it is that you want your customers to do. So, like I said, if it's to launch a new product, you are just really going to have that one call to action. However, I would say that you can have one call to action, i.e. one type of link, but you could have that link embedded into the email multiple times. So you can have it sort of near the top. If they're only going to be scrolling down here, you can have it, towards the middle, and you can have it really at the bottom if they get that far of the email. But essentially, it's all the same link, because that is what you want them to do. So as you go through your narrative of your email, I would say it completely depends on that one. I mean, like I showed you in my example email that had different links in it, but essentially it was all part of my Instagram that I was trying to grow at the time. So it was all roads lead to Instagram, but it was just at different videos, different reels. So I would say it absolutely depends. I think start off by deciding what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to market, what it is that you want your users to do. If it has multiple calls to actions in there, so for instance, it might be you want them to buy a product, but you also want them to follow you on social media. Don't forget to always put your social media details at the bottom. So then that's 2 call to actions. But yeah, it depends. It depends on that one. Sorry to be a little bit more generalistic on that.
Now, Charlotte, I agree with all of that. I think the other thing to mention is, typically when you start thinking about a newsletter too, so Constant Contact has heat maps within it, and you can start to see where people are clicking within your emails. And we often recommend, and we've had an analysis of this, but anything more than 3, and this is, I'm thinking 3 calls to action, right? So you have 3 different things that you're having people want to do. After that 3rd kind of call to action, there's a big drop off in terms of people actually clicking through on that stuff. And so we always recommend, if you're doing like a newsletter or that type of thing, keep it to 3 sections, right? So there's only, a few things that people can choose from, and they're not overwhelmed, because at a certain point, too much choice means nobody's going to do anything, right? And so, but I agree with what Charlotte's saying. Of course, like we've seen the best emails are ones that are focused on one call to action. You can have multiple opportunities to take that same call to action, and everything in that email should be focused on what does somebody need to know in order to take that next step, right? And if you can focus on giving the people information to get there, you're going to have more people clicking on that and focused on what it is that you want them to do.
Excellent. Next question is about statistics. are there good or bad statistics in terms of opening, click rate, and conversion?
Well, I can just add something here just in terms of what we're seeing across all industries. Open rates are about 33% right now across all industries. Actually, if you search open rates and Constant Contact, you'll get a list of all our current customers broken out into individual industries, so you can kind of see where you're at. And then I think click rates are somewhere around 2% right now. And these give you a good idea of just in general how you might be performing. But the idea is to then look at your specific click and open rates, right? And judge based on that, because ultimately what you're trying to do is improve on what you're doing, not compare yourself to somebody else. But that gives you an idea, right, of where you should maybe be in terms of the ballpark. And then if you actually put your industry within Constant Contact, it will show you those industry averages right within your reporting, so you can kind of take a look at those. But I think that's the big ideas, right? Really figure out what's happening with your business and your audience, and then how do you improve upon that? Charlotte, I don't know if you have anything to add there.
Yeah, no, I like that, Dave. I like that. I agree.
Great. Next question is about referrals. Lucy says that we think referrals are really important for us. What advice and tips and tricks could you give us for referrals? I'm guessing through emails, getting people to refer, word of mouth, that kind of thing.
So I think the big thing is to ask, right? Like you need to make that part of your process, right? I would even think of an automation series, right? Where you're doing certain things within your email list and have an email in there that is specific to like, hey, do you know someone else who would be interested in this information? Forward this email to them, and you always have that link in there to subscribe. Constant Contact also allows you to share emails directly to your social channels. And on that page it creates for that email, if you wanted to do that from time to time, I don't think you do this all the time, but on that page, it has a join my list button on there as well. And so I think it's about, I've done things where I've personally asked for my personal newsletter. I've asked people like, hey, why did you sign up? And done that on social, and people will respond to the comments, right? And say things like that. So you're exposing people to, and having people kind of show some social proof that that information that you're sending is valuable. So I think you just need to build in ways to do that. Just like if you want to just grow your lists, well, you have to ask people to join your list. They're not always just going to do that. You got to make sure that that trail leads back to you. And I think it's quite similar when you're just asking for referrals, whether that's for the email list or if it's for actual business. You've got to make sure you're asking.
Totally. Plant the seed and then see where it goes.
I would say as well that you could incentivize them as well. So for every successful referral, you could give money off, whatever it may be. But yeah, I can't hammer home enough how you should be asking for your user to do whatever it is that you want them to do. There are so many emails that I see. And when I very first started, I felt the same, because I don't know if it's an imposter thing or whatever, but you just sort of assume, oh, okay, well, this is me. They're buy from me. They do what I want them to do. No, you have to be so obvious, and you have to ask them, or you have to tell them what it is that you want them to do. If you want increased referrals, then you ask, you say, look, we would really appreciate it if you could tell someone about us. If you love our service that much, if you love our products that much, we'd be so grateful if you could tell your friends and family, tell whoever it may be who would be suited to this product or service. And as a result of that, I mean, you can send emails whereby you don't even have to incentivize them. Just by having that communication alone will be enough to pull at the heartstrings, go, yeah, I want to help that small business. I want to help them. Of course. Yeah, no worries. But otherwise, you can incentivize them, and you can say, look, for every, I don't know, for every new client that you get from me, or for whatever product that you sell, every new person that you bring to us, we give you a money off voucher or whatever it may be. But tell them that that's the plan. Don't just assume.
Excellent. We are running out of time, so I'm going to just ask one more question, if that's okay with you both. This question is, what are the most effective strategies to increase email open rates without overdoing clickbait style titles?
Can you say that again, Emma? Oh, sorry. Could you say that again?
What are the most effective strategies to increase email open rates without overdoing clickbait style titles?
Go on, Dave. I know you were going to say something.
Yeah, so I'll just say that I think the first and foremost thing to recognize is that the number one reason why people open emails is because they recognize who the sender is. And so I think at the very beginning, you want to make sure that you are, however people know your business, whether it's you personally or if it's an employee from that business, you want to make sure that that information is in the sender line, right? Because if you don't, I've often, and you've probably all experienced this too, sometimes you'll have like a random employee at a business start sending you emails from a list that you did join, but you're like, I don't know who that is because they've never made the connection. And so like oftentimes it's like, you know, Dave at Constant Contact, right? Like having that in the from name so you can recognize who that is. Because that's the number one reason why. This is how we start to process email. From there, it becomes a question of, okay, do I want to open this now? Right. And so you're trying to, with those headlines or the subject lines and the pre-headers, give people a reason why, letting them know what's going to be in that email. Is it something that they're going to find valuable? I think if you can focus there rather than like tricks, and I agree with the clickbait type stuff, it's overdone. Yes, there are a lot of different ways you can start to play with that. I think at the core is focus on who is it from and tell me what's in the email and make sure that that's something that's going to be valuable to the person receiving it. That's the first place to start. And then you can start to look for other ways to do things.
Anything to add, Charlotte, before we go?
I agree. Absolutely. I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more about the constant contact software, actually. Dave mentioned there a heat map, and I'd be very interested to have a look at that as well. That looks really cool. But yeah, that's just me. But just to say thank you, everyone, for being here today. And I hope that you found it useful. And hopefully we can all stay in touch.
Definitely.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much,
Charlotte, come check us out.
I will. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Take
Bye,
care.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.